Hey guys, today's video is long overdue. I've had these palettes for about 2 to 3 weeks now, and I've been really wanting to film this video. I just have not had the time. So today's video is all about the Jaclyn Hill Vault collection. Because I've had them for a few weeks, I have of course already played around with them and everything like that, so these are just strictly tutorials. My opinions on the palette is they're amazing. Just like the original Jaclyn Hill palette, they are some of my favorite palettes out there. I have heard on social media that some people are really having issues with consistency, and I just hope that Morphe gets that worked out because they are amazing. But I personally have not had any issues. Today I used the Ring the Alarm palette, and this is the look that I came up with. So if you would like to see how I got this look, then just keep on watching. Thanks! Alright, we are going into the Jaclyn Hill palette. This is the Ring the Alarm, and we're going to start off with the shade Rush right here. And I'm going to be taking that on a Morphe M441. And this is going right up here in the upper crease area as our transition shade. And I'm using a nice big fluffy brush with it because I want it to be kind of all over the place. And as you can see, I did already fill in my eyebrows. I primed my eyes with concealer and powder, and then I did apply tape. And as you can see, I have a little gap in between, like right in between the lower lash line, so that way it already kind of connects to that. That way it makes it easy when I go to apply the lower lash line shadows. And I'm just using windshield wiper motions to blend this out. And I start at the tape and then blend inward, because I like for the most amount of pigment to be on the outer half of the eye and then fading into not as much pigment as you get towards this inner part of the eye. But I do take it all the way in. Then I go in with some circular motions to kind of bring it down on the lid a little bit, because I don't want it to get too high. Next, we're going to go in with the shade Mugshot, which is this shade right here. And I'm going to be taking this on my Morphe M433 brush. So I kind of pack it in on the side, like you can see here. So I have it packed in on the side, and I'm going to start right up against that tape and packing it, as you see, like I'm doing right now. And then from the tape, I take it and I sweep inward to start blending that in. And then as I get that going, I'm going to start bringing it into the crease. Alright, now that I have that applied, you can see that it is kind of just not blended right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wipe off that exact same brush, and then I'm going to go in with windshield wiper motions first and work on blending that out. And this just helps so that it doesn't get too high up on the lid. Alright, so now that I've used windshield wiper motions, I go in with circular motions and buff that out, and you can see how that blended that out. So now we're just going to repeat that exact same thing on the other side. So I'm going to start by packing it out here on the outer half of the eye, more so the outer third of the eye, then taking it right up against that tape and sweeping in. And then I'm working that into the crease. Alright, then same thing, I'm going to wipe off that brush, and I'm going to start with windshield wiper motions, blending out that shade. And then I'm going to go into circular motions and blending that out. Alright, so you can see that that now is nice and blended. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to be mixing the shades Framed and Secret. So I'm going to mix both of those. And I'm taking this on a Morphe E17 brush. And I'm going to start this right up against the tape and smudge that in. Then I just lightly take what's left over on the brush and take it into the crease just a little bit. I don't want to take it too much because I don't want the crease to get too dark, but just a little bit to give it a little bit of depth from that shade. So now that I have that applied, I'm going to go back in with that M433 brush. I'm going to start in here to make sure that everything is nice and blended. And then I'm coming out here to where we have the majority of that product. And I'm using windshield wiper motions first, and then going into circular motions and just making sure that that is nice and blended out. Just like so. Alright, so we're going to repeat those exact same steps on the other eye. So again, same thing, starting at that tape and just smudging this inward. And then taking a little bit of it into the crease, but not a lot. Alright, and then dipping back into that M433, and again, starting in here, just making sure everything's nice and blended out. And then coming to the outer part where I have more of those darker shadows, and using windshield wiper motions first, and then switching to circular motions. Alright, just like that. Then I'm going to go in with the shade Boom, which is the shade right here. Sorry. This shade right here. And I'm going to be taking this on my MAC 242 brush. So picking up some of this shade. And we're going to apply this right on the ball of the eye. So on this center part of the lid is where we're going to apply this shade. Okay, now that I already have that shade laid down, I am going to take, actually I'm going to take this one. I'm going to take that E17 and just lightly kind of flick over the purplish brown shade into this copper shade, just to make sure that it's nice and blended and there's no harsh lines. Then wiping off that MAC 242 brush, we are going to then go in with the shade Lolly, which is this first one right here. So we're going to dip into the shade Lolly. And this is going to go on the inner half of the eye. And then I just lightly blend that into the copper shade that is on the center of the lid. Alright, now I'm going to apply my lashes off camera and then I'll be right back. And these are the Velour, I think they're silk lashes in the shade Fluff and Edgy. So I will be right back. Alright. I applied my lashes, and then I also did apply my foundation, concealer, powder, and bronzer, and all of that off camera just to save time. So moving back onto the eyes, we're going to jump back into the Ring the Alarm palette. I am going to take the shade Rush, which is this shade right here, and I'm going to be taking this on a Makeup Geek small crease brush, which looks like this. It's a pencil brush, but it's a little fatter and fluffier. So I'm going to take that Rush shade on this, and we are going to start this right here on the lower lash line. Alright, and then jumping into my Morphe E36 brush, I'm going to use the shade Mugshot, the one that I just jammed my finger into. And we're going to do the exact same thing. This is just getting it a little bit more precise right up against that lash line. Alright, then jumping in with my Morphe M432, I'm going to mix Framed and Secret, and I'm just going to apply this right on the outer half of the eye with this flat definer brush. So just right out here, right up against that lash line. Just right there. And then I'm going to take that E36 and just buff that out so there are no harsh lines. Alright, and I'm going to do that exact same thing on the other side. I just applied my lower lash mascara, so now I'm going to go into blush. I'm going to be using the Tarte blush in the shade Seduce, and I'm going to be applying this on my Merle Norman blush brush. Alright, and then for highlight, I'm going to be using the Becca Champagne Pop highlight on my Morphe M510 brush. And then I'm just highlighting the tops of my cheekbones, and then I like to throw a little bit right here on the Cupid's bow as well, but just a little bit. Okay, and then for lipstick, I'm going to be using the Tarte Tarteist Lip Paint in the shade Rose. Dab off some of my lip balm real quick. Alright, you guys, that is it for this makeup look. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you tomorrow using my next palette from the Vault collection. Thanks for watching. Bye!